Hey everybody, Rich here, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. Today is February the 11th and swarm season has begun. Yesterday afternoon, there was heavy scout activity at one of the bucket traps. 9 o'clock this morning, they were back and it looked like the same heavy scout action. Unfortunately, I had an appointment to take the dog to the vet, and by the time we came back from the vet, the swarm had already moved in. So, quick like a bunny, I had to set up my temporary stand here. Don't need to go over that. We did a video on that last year. These are terrific. They last forever. So I'm just going to remind you of the way I set up to put a swarm into a nuke. Nuke base, the cover, or rather the tray, will be out for ventilation. The front is blocked. A queen excluder goes above the bottom board. I always use slatted racks, so it'll go there. I'm a foundation-less beekeeper for the most part, so wired racks, or wired frames rather.
And swarms are comb builders.
And swarms are comb builders. I'm not going to bother to give them, but I do put one piece in the middle so that if they do start drawing comb across, they can only veer off out of their lane so far, because otherwise they could be all the way across here. Although you'll notice this is set up at a somewhat different angle. It is set up true north-south in this location at this point, which is supposed to help with the drawing of straight comb, at least in some people's way. Now this is just a temporary for me to dump them in. It'll be removed shortly, an empty piece there so that we can dump them. And of course there we have a frame with, we have my feeder shim with the feeder in it, and the smoker's lit.
Can I close up on the feeder shim for a second?
Sure.
Because people might not realize if your feeder shim doesn't fit on a nuke, all you have to do is wrap it out, if I'm using the correct term.
You are, dear.
The two sides a little bit, and voila, you can fit that puppy in, and it does not.
It's the lid that has to be free to move.
Right, and it doesn't hurt the integrity of the wood.
No, the wood is a full 3/4 inch at the bottom. And this is something I came up with. We've done a video on this and how to cut these like this. So that fits in there. And I see you have plenty of play up here because the lid is the widest part actually. Fits in nicely there. And so now let's go.
One question.
Yes, dear.
You have it blocked?
I have it blocked.
And you have a queen excluder.
Yeah.
Above the entrance.
Because the block will come off tomorrow morning.
That was my question.
The queen excluder will come off in a couple of days.
Okay. Just in case that she's a very slim queen.
Yeah.
You don't
well, actually, this will be blocked. I'm doing this in the middle of the day. I'm not doing this almost nightfall because by then they'll have built a bunch of comb in there. And I don't really want them to waste their resources on that. So, I mean, I might still have to cut some out and patch it into one frame and stick it in there later. Who knows? But at any rate, we're going to go grab it. We're going to dump them in here. Then the bucket goes back where it was. And whatever field force might be out will come up there overnight. Tomorrow morning when they wake up, they'll be right here beside this entrance. And this entrance will be open for them to come in. So hopefully we get the vast majority of them.
Sounds like a good plan. I approve.
That's wife approved?
Wife approved plan.
I got you. Okay. All right. And if you've seen some of my other videos, you know why I switched to buckets from using full boxes, even though I have plenty of them.
Yeah.
Because climbing up there to get a full bucket can lead to accidents. When you're as old,
which we have filmed.
Which we have filmed, particularly when you're as old as I am.
So you're using a pot holder right now to cover the entrance.
Yeah.
That's pretty ingenious.
Yeah. because I want to just be able to grab them at the bottom. Okay. Okay, ready?
Nope.
First
I have
thing.
to get on one side or the other of you.
Okay. Well, I'm right in front of the girls here, so I'm liable to get a couple of whacks. Ready to go?
Oh.
Oh, shoot. They've
Wow.
already started drawing some comb.
They have. Those are very industrious girls.
Yep.
Keep going. You still got a mess of bees in there. They're hanging on to the propolis on the sides.
Yeah, that's what it's there for. After all.
Smoker?
Well, that's pretty fast. All right. Okay, I don't see anything that looks like a queen there. But as usual with my little ribs here, they were making nice straight comb.
Yep.
For me. Okay. Most of them went down below. Go. Presumably anybody who's flying around here right now will go back over where we're about to put this back. Oops, sorry. Now, I don't know whether I feel more like, I think I'll cut these 3 pieces out, put them in a frame and slip them on in there. No, I think I'll just put them over. I don't know whether I want to put them in right now or whether I want to leave them in here overnight to help attract the bees back to this. I think I'll leave them overnight.
Sounds like a good idea. If I can make a suggestion.
What would that be, dear?
Well, you've got a lot of bees that are attempting to get into the nuke, and with the blocked off entrance, they have no way to do so. You're not leaving them any alternative but to return to the bucket. If you just open that a skosh.
Okay. Well, we'll try that.
So underneath here, get under there. You can see that. There's a lot of bees underneath the screen.
Because they smell the queen inside.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. Now, that whole thing didn't take 3 minutes, even with chasing you back. But look at the number of foragers that came back and didn't know what to do.
Oh my goodness, that whole piece of wood is completely covered.
Yeah.
Are you going to take that wood and dump those bees in there? That looks like kind of a hard thing to handle. It's wicked long.
Yeah. No, I'll just let them all go back in there.
You don't think they're going to notice that Mom moved?
Well, she's in there. Obviously, if there's a pile of bees that have come up on the underside of the screen.
Yeah.
So her pheromone's there. So it might not be the worst idea to go ahead and take this batch of bees and set them at the entrance. Let's give that a shot. All right.
Is that stable?
Enough.
Oh, I see. Oh, look.
Move it.
course,
Well,
once you
they
add,
can definitely smell the mama inside.
and once you add that sugar water to the feeder,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably going to be the icing on the cake for them. They'll probably
Oh yeah,
stay.
they won't have to all go rushing out to look around so much.
But they had already gotten the comb factory started.
Yep. And I would just as soon do that now so I don't trip on it. Interesting amount of bees clustered right here. I wonder if some of those others are moving in.
They could be drifting. What's your concentration of sugar water there?
1 to 1.
1 to 1.
With some honeybee healthy and about a quarter of a cup of lemon juice into 2 quarts of water and 4 pounds of sugar. And if these girls are any indication, they'll have that scarf down by morning.
I'm thinking it's safe to leave that entrance open.
Well, Queen can't go anywhere. Yeah, it's
well,
good.
I don't think they're inclined at the moment. Doesn't mean they can't make up their mind to leave later.
Bees can change just like the weather, dear.
Yep. So the plan is tomorrow to put those 3 little paddles in a frame for them?
Yeah.
And then move in the morning, move all the remaining bees, or are you going
No,
to do that
after
tonight?
dark tonight, I will come out here and I will set something up so that the entrance is on level with this, so that when everybody wakes up in the morning, they'll smell the queen inside there.
I see.
And everybody will presumably move in. Let's just put a cinder block up there, set the bucket on the cinder block next to the entrance, and some of them will move in, in the course of the evening, and then later on in the morning, the rest of them will move over. And then there will be probably somewhere around 50 to 60 bees who just don't get the memo and will hang out over there until they call it quits. Hey everybody, Rich here, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. Well, finally happened. Had to happen sooner or later. My trick of putting a queen excluder on top of the bottom board to keep a swarm in. Of course, when a swarm happens, the queen is skinny enough to, perhaps slip through a queen excluder, although it hadn't happened yet, and I've been doing this for a while. But it happened last night. This morning, I should say last night, immediately after dark, I went over to where the bucket was sitting in its original position and picked it up and brought it over here and had it set up on a black bucket there so that this entrance was sitting touching this, and of course it was a hive here. Well, this morning there's no bees in this hive. This morning they all left and they walked over to the bucket.
Oh my God, they're back in the bucket.
They're back in the bucket.
Oh no. So you didn't get a chance to transfer the small paddles of comb either.
No, I wasn't going to do that last night. I was going to do that just now.
That's what I meant.
I actually had one of my frames with the wires on it. It was going to be a 2-minute zip done deal thing this morning, and instead I'm going to need to leave this bucket where it is for a couple of days until the queen fattens up. Now, either she was a laying queen who needed fattening up, or this was a swarm queen. I don't know which. I assumed this early in the spring it was going to be an established queen, but they don't normally have enough. They don't usually get skinny enough to go through a queen excluder. So now I have to question myself on that. But regardless, the answer is I'm just going to leave this one here for a couple of more days. There are about maybe 150 bees that didn't get the memo and they're still hanging out over at the old place, but in the next day or two they'll drift away. Hopefully some of them come back here. But in a few days, probably Thursday or Friday of this week, I'll just have to come back, shake the bees into this box, cut the comb, splice the frames. Tried to save myself some work, but apparently the bees had other ideas. Bees are going to do what bees are going to do. So that's where we stand on the first swarm catch of the year. It gave me a new twist that I haven't had before. That's it. Check in with you later to see how this is going. Bye for now.